being quite sort of master on the wind in some sections, but then incredibly exposed in other sections. And then I think it was just fitting that Max Verstappen, out of all of that chaos, all of the mixed upness of the grid, still ended up on top.
How much do you think luck plays a part in those conditions, Ted?
Gosh, well, I mean, it's when is the wind gust going to hit you? I mean, we don't understand it, Simon, because we're not racing drivers. Jamie, what does it feel like when you're driving, your IDEC LMP2 car has this huge sort of fin on the back, and maybe you haven't driven so much in 60 kilometre per hour winds, but does it feel like when we're driving on the motorway and we get a bit of a gust and we kind of just have to adjust a bit? Is it that times 10?
Pretty much. I think that kind of feeling that you get when you're driving on the motorway, imagine that, but obviously when you're driving in your road car, there's no sort of aerodynamic, well, there's an element of aerodynamics around it, but it's not designed to stick the car to the ground. So everything that car is designed to do is to corner, brake, go around a racetrack as fast as possible. Wind disrupts that. I think it's actually quite funny when you watch the F1 film, or anyone who has watched the F1 film, and they see in the wind tunnel and Brad Pitt kind of goes in and asks them to change it for combat. It's the same with wind. That car has been designed with an element of wind in consideration, but not 40, 50 mile an hour winds like we saw in Baku. So the feeling is horrible. It can work in your favour in some places. If you've got a really strong headwind into a high-speed corner, that can be quite a nice feeling, but gusts are the worst, because we saw it in turn 16 where it was the most exposed. The amount of times a gust will catch you and you've braked in your spot, that any other lap would probably be, if anything, too early, and then this lap you're running deep and you can't predict that. So it's not, I hate the term luck, because I think you did see Max prevail and come out on top, but there is an element of skill and kind of trying to be on the right side of when the wind hits you or not.
Yeah, and Oscar Piastri, he got one of those gusts. They said it was sort of 15 kph behind him as he went into the wall on Saturday. But he obviously, moving on to the championship, Ted, had a weekend to forget, very un-Oscar-like. The championship gap down to 25, but that crash in quali, then the jump start, and the resultant crash as he's, I suppose, trying to play catch up, not having been caught out. The 5-second penalty that he received for that, some people are asking about why that doesn't carry over, but it's only multiples of 5 seconds or 10 seconds, something more severe than that gets carried over. And fans of Fernando Alonso will be going, oh, hang on a minute, Fernando had to take his in race, but that's just one of the vagaries at the moment of the rules. But his first really big mistake, there was a little one obviously in Australia, but really big mistake of the season. What did you make of the overall weekend that he had?
I mean, first of all, we should say, more fool us for saying after Zandvoort, oh, that's it. Piastri's got it. One hand on the trophy. He won't make a mistake. He's not going to drop a load of points. Unless he has a sort of unexpected mechanical problem, he's not going to have a terrible weekend where he crashes. That's just not what he does. Well, we should have known that this is Formula One. This is the pressure of racing drivers. It can happen sometimes, just having an off weekend. And it would have been amazing, wouldn't it, Simon, to make it through a whole championship season of 24 races and not have one DNF that wasn't a mechanical. There's always one. You'll always get one or two. All right, Oscar will say it's maybe champion's fortune that he's going to, hopefully for his sake, not make another one and make it through the end of the year when Lando didn't win the race. That's point number one. And then point number two, it seemed to be a sort of compounding issue. It wasn't really comfortable, had the off on Friday. He had the engine issue on Friday, which cost him a bit of time. Lando had the off. And then on Saturday, it was Oscar who stuck it in the wall. And then again on Sunday. And I just wonder, this is a question, I blame myself more than anything. You know how I like to do that, Simon. Why didn't I ask Andrea Stella? Maybe it was because I was didn't want to be seen to be looking for an excuse. Was there something about the McLaren this weekend that made it really difficult to control? Was it the wind, the way Jamie describes? Is it more affected when the wind goes and takes away McLaren's lovely aerodynamics? Is it the fact that
In Sunday's post-race press conference, the 27-year-old reiterated that he is taking each event as it comes. Asked if Red Bull's recent increase in competitiveness had given him hope that the title could still be within reach, Verstappen answered, "I mean, I don't rely on hope, I personally don't think about it. I just go race by race, what I have been doing basically the whole season, just trying to do the best we can, try to score the most points that we can. And then after Abu Dhabi, we'll know." Six-time IndyCar race winner, James Hinchcliffe, and F1 TV's lead presenter, Laura Winter, joined Tom Clarkson in the Baku paddock to dissect a chaotic Azerbaijan Grand Prix weekend on the latest episode of F1 Nation. Max Verstappen's fourth win of the season means he's now 69 points behind championship leader Oscar Piastri. With 7 races and 3 sprints left, is the four-time world champion back in the title fight? Red Bull technical director Pierre Watch shares his thoughts and explains how the team have transformed their performance since the summer break, with Piastri crashing out on lap 1 and Lando Norris only finishing P7. How big a missed opportunity was this weekend for Norris to close the gap to his title rival? And was McLaren's difficult weekend a hangover from their team orders in Monza? You'll also hear a reaction from a very happy Carlos Sainz, after he scored his first podium for Williams with a perfectly executed race to P3. Tom, Laura, and Hinch also discuss a much better weekend for Mercedes duo George Russell and Kimi Antonelli, a very important battle between Liam Lawson and Yuki Tsunoda, and if Lewis Hamilton is starting to find his groove, despite a weekend to forget for Ferrari. Everything needs to go perfectly. Verstappen on his title chances after back-to-back wins. Max Verstappen has been reflecting on his championship prospects off the back of an upswing in competitiveness for Red Bull. Max Verstappen has cautioned that everything needs to go perfectly for him if he hopes to close the gap in the championship and bid for the title, despite the Dutchman bolstering his points tally after scoring back-to-back wins in Italy and Azerbaijan, while McLaren faced a challenging weekend in Baku, which saw championship leader Oscar Piastri crash out of the race on lap 1, while Lando Norris had to settle for P7. Verstappen enjoyed a dominant outing, converting pole position into a commanding victory. During a chat with Sky Sports F1 after the Grand Prix, Verstappen was asked if the new floor recently introduced on Red Bull's car has had a particular impact on their performance level over these past weekends. "I think it's just a combination of a lot of things that are going better in the last few weeks, so we understood a bit more about the car," the reigning world champion explained. "Of course it's 2 low downforce tracks, so we have to wait and see how we are going to perform again on a high downforce track, but for now we're just very happy with what we're doing, and then we'll just find out at the upcoming races how that will go on other kinds of layouts." With 7 rounds remaining in the 2025 season, Verstappen's run of wins has seen him close the gap to Piastri down to 69 points, while he tails second-placed Norris by 44 points. When quizzed on whether he still sees opportunities to make gains should McLaren have further difficult weekends, Verstappen responded, "It's 7 races to go and it's still 69 points. It's a lot, basically everything needs to go perfectly from my side, and then a bit of luck from their side I need as well, so it's still very tough." Speaking further on the topic in Sunday's post-race press conference, the 27-year-old reiterated that he is taking each event as it comes. Asked if Red Bull's recent increase in competitiveness had given him hope that the title could still be within reach, Verstappen answered, "I mean, I don't rely on hope, I personally don't think about it. I just go race by race, what I have been doing basically the whole season, just trying to do the best we can, try to score the most points that we can. And then after Abu Dhabi, we'll know." Six-time IndyCar race winner, James Hinchcliffe, and F1 TV's lead presenter, Laura Winter, joined Tom Clarkson in the Baku paddock to dissect a chaotic Azerbaijan Grand Prix weekend on the latest episode of F1 Nation. Max Verstappen's 4th win of the season means he's now 69 points behind championship leader Oscar Piastri. With 7 races and 3 sprints left, is the 4-time world champion back in the title fight? Red Bull technical director Pierre Watch shares his thoughts and explains how the team have transformed their performance since the summer break, with Piastri crashing out on lap 1 and Lando Norris only finishing P7. How big a missed opportunity was this weekend for Norris to close the gap to his title rival? And was McLaren's difficult weekend a hangover